Okay, so let's review, boys and girls. Ta-da! Yo, so let's see. Here, this is a recap. All right, so I try to get my hands. I'm gonna just randomly start and pick a point of what the fuck, and just go from that point of what the fuck to the rest of the points of what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get my hands on my credit report. Can't. Says I'm deceased. Okay. Which reminds me of a few other times I've tried to get my hands on my credit report, and one of those times being with the grandma that passed away, and that made me also remember she had to go and ask a judge, which couldn't even get their hands on my therapy report, right? Because she was like, well, and because I was like, I'm trying to get my hands on my therapy, so to see what's in my what are the therapists saying about me, I would like to know. But for some reason, I couldn't even get access to my own therapy reports, which then my grandmother, that's another thing about the whole, once, then she went and got a judge involved, and they couldn't even get their hands on my therapy reports. And then it was like, that's when MK Ultra started to get brought up, and it's like, did you ever sign contracts? It's like, and at that point in time, I didn't remember signing contracts, but I did sign contracts. It was crazy with the FBI, CIA, and DOJ. But point being is that from there, it's like, and then to think, like, I tried to get my credit report, back to the credit reports, when I was staying with a friend from high school, and his mom, which was also my friend, and couldn't get my credit reports then, and basically these were the two people that, well, it wasn't them, but the bottom line is that they wanted me to. It's why it's so interesting that I can get these two people on the phone, but I can't get nobody else on the fucking phone, like my own. So then, like, then we start bringing up, like, my other, and I'm like, well, after 20 years, I see the person, and then a month later, then their daughter's dead, and just weirdly enough, I called them at the exact precise time that they are crying about their passing away, and then, I got in touch with them a few days later, talked to them for a little bit, and then something really interesting happened. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I don't even know how to bring this up to them. So I still had to bring it up to them. And from that point on, I can't get them on the phone. And, which is weird because I was able to get them on the phone after the person, unfortunately, this is crazy, passed away. But now I can't. Now that I have a reason that I need to, I can't get them on the phone. So that's, fine, I guess. You know what? I don't know what the fuck is fine anymore, because then amongst all the other shit, it's like I'm running around with. Last night I seen a video, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, so this isn't. So their video, they were like, and I was like, oh my God! I'm like, if that's that, I'm like, then this is way bigger than what I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. So that's crazy. And then there's again, that's way bigger than what I thought it was again. And then I'm just like, okay, so that's, so I can't, I back in the day was able to find somebody if we needed, like, an extra $6 for a bag of weed. I mean, it was like I could get a fucking mob together. You know what I'm saying? To fucking get that shit accomplished. And now I can't do that even for a fucking way bigger bag of, obviously. So I'm like, well, that's fun. And yeah, so it made me think of, it's like, saying, wow, that's, cool. I call the feds, they don't seem to want to talk with me on the phone. Haven't seen my pet squirrels that bring me human remains lately, because I was thinking of the cat with the skull, the ram skull, and the little heart thing, which is also kind of an I haven't seen my demon cat lately that lives under my toilet bowl, which I have proof of, total proof of the cat that lives under my, but I haven't heard the cat, which now I'm saying it, so hopefully doesn't leave me hanging, because my little buddy can finally do something with this tuna fish that I won't eat because it's not tuna fish, it's cat food. I could finally have a purpose for that in my cabinet that, was given to me by the wonderful people at the Starve or Die, either one, place that brought a food once or twice. So then I'm thinking to myself, it's like, well, so let's not forget about the call to the lawyer's office, the federal lawyer that represented me for the police-issued Suffolk County Glock 9, pretty much rushing me off the phone, because basically what was it again? The head of the office or something like that. There was a title with that phone call, but the bottom line is that they didn't even know. Not only would they just not pull up my file to find out like what's in my file, but then on top of that, they didn't even know what a Glock 9, a police issued Glock 9 would be. They played the, I'm fucking totally retarded game. But meanwhile, saying, it's pretty funny that I can't get my hands on my, whatever. I mean, I did get the records, but now I'm saying to myself, let's really get the fucking record, because it's like, all the shit that was being said to me by, it's like, well, where's that in my record, on the fucking, as far as me being arrested goes, let's find out what's in my fucking record, because my house was shot at, and then I was almost pulled into the woods, and then, I had my caseworker telling me that's obviously nothing that I have to be concerned about mentally or physically, because that's not a health concern, and saying that's, okay, so that's good. And then there's, then I can't, my grandmother, when she was still alive, after, before she passed away, after my other grandma who raised me, which was my mom, passed away, around the same time period that Gerald Schur, the head of WITSEC, that created WITSEC, passed away. Wasn't the head of WITSEC when he passed away. But, the one that I met that I signed in, then the freaking passcode is absolutely insane, because that's, because of the whole Paul Flores thing, which then he was hanging out with Pazuzu a year later, which somehow magically I ended up fucking there driving the fuck around. And it's just simple that, Gerald Schur was the one that was like, they were going to kill you. And it's like, well, I liked Pazuzu. I didn't really like Paul Flores. Paul Flores, it was a fucking, but Pazuzu was a little fucked up. But it's like, I don't see why Pazuzu did not fucking kill Paul Flores, since basically fucking, Pazuzu was a psychopath killer. And it's like, and I'm Anthony Yakkey, and I'm just like, fucking like, let's do this, bitch. Fucking, you ever meet Bruce Lee? You know what I'm saying? So that was back then. Now it's like, my bones are crumbling, and, it's like, I'm falling apart, but my dick works finally after 20 years. My dick works like a fucking charm. It's like, there's got to be some sort of fucking secret supply of Viagra fucking in my body. It's fucking awesome. I'm like, wow, you haven't worked in 20 years, but now I'm flailing you almost like I fucking did back in the day. It's like, the Sword Awakens. That should be the name of the fucking, anyway. So, like, almost like Darth Vader, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like the Sword Awakens, the Fourth Awakens, the Sword Awakens. It's like, fucking crazy. That's good. So I can't, my grandmother really couldn't get their hands on my therapy reports, right? Had to go through a judge, which then they couldn't get their hands on the therapy reports, which then the judge is the one that fucking said, like, my fucking file was sealed, like, due to pretty much probably MK Ultra, which then that was mentioned to me. And then, I did not remember it at the time, but definitely did sign those fucking contracts with my blood, signed, not just my name, but my blood on the contracts. And then, I never got the fucking, so that, you know, a lot of that is somewhat null and void from their side, which therefore I want my money. And I want my money. And then you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, so then there's, you know, it's like, well, I guess there's, you know, I don't know where else, because then, you know, it's like, okay, so it's really hard, you know, and then that shit, and then it's like I can't check my my credit reports over the past 20 years or so, but, you know, that's interesting, you know, because they told me, oh, well, keep calling back. It's like, I've been calling. Why are you hiding from me? You know what I'm saying? It's like that. And then it's like, you know, it's, oh yeah, let's not forget I might be homeless soon, or fucking stab somebody in the throat, or fucking get stabbed in the throat, or get shot, or fucking get stabbed in the throat. I might get stabbed. So the point being is that, you know, or homeless, because I'm pretty sure it's going to lead to homeless, which is not going to lead to homeless. It's going to lead to me just probably getting fucking shot, which is fine, because, you know, the whole, you know, Paul Flores, and then, you know, him telling me he killed Kristin Smart, but then signing the witness statement saying, you know, that, you know, which was prevented at that point to fucking, you know, for me to put down, like, you know, well, basically, I'm pretty sure that's not in the fucking, and that's what they told, that part wasn't important. It's like, well, you see, he said he was going to set me up, my family up, which was also his family, don't know how, and then fucking, but, you know, and then, you know, a whole bunch of other families up all at the same time. And it's like, well, that's not probably in the witness statement, but the location of the bodies was the locations of the body were in the witness statement, I'm pretty fucking sure, which then takes them 25 fucking magical years, but I'm thinking that was only because I signed the witness protection form, which they told me I had to sign, but then when it was found out that I signed that, you know, my father and the guy who helped start the bank account for me, it's like they both come the fuck down, and they're like, you can't fucking have him do this, because then that means he can't talk to anybody in his fucking family, not even me, which was my dad who raised me, which was my grandpa, which, you know, eventually and then it's like, you know, it's like, that's why I'm saying it's like so then you know, it's like, for some magical reason they take 25 years to go find the body, and then, you know, of course, when they were down there, they were like, well, at least have him unsign this, you know, rip this one up so that he can at least talk to his family, like Paul Flores gets to talk to his family. But on the other hand, I'm not really allowed to talk to my family, which is just fucking insane, you know. And then it's like, well, where's my bank account? And it's like, you know, it's like everybody telling me, oh, well, you don't have one. It's like, yeah, well, you know, it's like, you know, my credit report says that I'm dead. You know what I mean? It's like, that's fun, you know. I think I'm feeling my faith right now. I don't know. So anyway, so, you know, and then it's like, well, obviously this is just a game to make a fucking person go crazy and kill a cop or a police officer, because, you know, the sheriff's department thinks that this is funny, you know, and, you know, it's like, I really do hope that the fucking, you know, the general left the fucking, you know, one of his people left what, you know, should be left there, so that when this goes down, at least I have a fighting fucking chance at fucking making things fucking, you know, at least not so one fucking sided, lopsided, you know, against me, you know. So that would be great, because at this point I don't fucking believe and or trust anybody, which Gerald Schur told me in the beginning, that don't trust anybody, Anthony, unfortunately, because of the fucking whole circumstance of fucking, you know, the crazy amount of shit. So, and the end, and then, you know, there's, like I said, it's like, even after posting the videos of my house being shot at, and, you know, that was, of course, that was after they threw me in the mental hospital, where I was like, Ariana's concert's about to be attacked, and it was like, I just came in here for fucking blood work, I don't know what the fuck you people are fucking doing, and then after that, I already knew I was going, I was like, fucking, and her concert's gonna be attacked, but it's like, all those officers, and that whole scenario, it's like, yeah, that's just a major fucking lawsuit right there, because she threw me in a fucking mental hospital, you know what I mean? And then 80 days after I was in the mental hospital, you know, fucking all of a sudden this little bitch starts a fucking argument with me, and I tell the bitch to go fuck herself, and this is why she can go fuck herself, and that Ari's concert's going to be attacked. Again, I mention it, and then fucking, 10 days after that, Ari's fucking concert gets fucking blown up, and all the little kids die, and, and then they let me out the fucking hospital 3 days after that, which then I go down to my friend in the feds / DOJ. I don't exactly, he showed me quick, and he's not showing me. He's like, but there was shit getting done, at least when I was talking to him. And the point is that, I go down to visit him, they try to kill him while I'm there visiting him, and then fucking, I leave from there, and then my house gets shot at, and then the next time I get him on the phone, I go off on him, and then 3 days later, he's dead, and then it's like, wow. Oh, let's not forget that he was possibly trying to get me killed while I was there, which is weird. Just weird. I don't know. Is that normal? That's a CIA thing. I don't know, man. I thought he was something not CIA. So that's a fucking CIA thing. It's like, here's some porridge. It's like, every spoonful is a gamble. It's like fucking you. So, trust issues. Anyway, so, yeah, so it's fun. And then, let's see, what was the purpose of this video? Getting to the bottom of everything. That's what it was. So, so it's like, oh yeah, not being able to get people on the phone when I should be able to get people on the phone. When I need to get people on the phone. Want to get people on the phone. Meanwhile, there's no hot water still in my house 9 months later after the fucking whole me telling the person, could you please turn my hot water on, and then you'll get your fucking money. It's like, but that's not here or there. I mean, let's not worry about that, But hey, in the meantime, let's also think about, the Pop Smoke incident, which when I met him, it's not like that, which is really an important part of this whole video is actually the Pop Smoke thing, because, I bump into Pop Smoke, and then, of course, I go to jail the next day for fighting my brother for possibly putting bruises on my mother's arm, the mom that passed away, my grandma's arm, basically, but I call her mom because she raised me my entire life. So therefore, then, it's like I go to jail, and then while I'm in jail, of course, basically as I'm getting sentenced to another couple of months, Pop Smoke's getting popped over in California, and first detective on the scene, of course, was named Flores, oddly enough, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, and then it's like, I come back from all that, and, and then, with all the fucking huge cyber attacks that have, it's like, it's just interesting that the one thing that shows up on my credit report is the phone that I bought right after I came out of jail, that I was like, anything, and I've already been saying, but anything kind of weird about the fact that, that's when the fucking whole thing sort of began. It's like, and then the replacement of those people with the stars and the stripes and the stripes and the stars, and it's like, and then those people got, and then it's like, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, and then I'm thinking, like, wow, so then it's like, I come back, and then, of course there's, stuff, and then there's the squirrel, which is different than the demon cat. Obviously, the squirrel and the cat are not the same two. Obviously. I mean, I think. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the demon cat is not the squirrel that brought me human remains. Which then I called the feds a second time. Which, if you really want to be technical, I kind of went down to the federal lawyer's office the first time to find out what happened to the police-issued Suffolk County Glock 9, and I don't know, that maybe caused him a mental breakdown, but then, it's like, can I find out what happened to my gun that I got arrested for? Because I have new information for the case, even though I've already been sentenced for all this, and, now I'm just saying fuck the people that tried to fuck me, but now I can't get nobody on the phone. Just like Kristin Smart's body. It's like, it's like 25 years ago, you knew where the fucking thing was. But let's just wait 25 years. No rush, and then it's like, oh, we dug up the spot. Well, there was a body here. It's like, wonder where the body is now. Oh, hello, squirrel that brought me human remains. That's great. That's wonderful. Obviously, it wasn't a foot bone of a little child like the one that was there when they tried to kill me in the fucking attic full of nails with the 2.5-inch funnel web Australian spider crawling out of her throat. It was a foot bone of a boy, girl, who knows, but obviously it was a bigger bone, but it was a foot bone of somebody, and the squirrel definitely fucking was like, hey buddy, check out your front porch. And I was like, hey squirrel, thank you so much for bringing me fucking human remains to my front porch. Let me call the FBI. It's like, oh, call the police. It's like, oh, okay, I'll call the police. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I called the police, and then it's like that went, wherever that went. Who the fuck knows where that went? I don't know where the fuck that went. And, and before all that happened, it's like, I found my diamonds. Look at that. Look at the way it's signed. Look at the way it's signed. Hold on. Let's see. Can we get the, yeah, it's not the right angle, really. It's really not. It's really not the right angle here. Can we get this going here? Let's see. Is this a better angle? Here I go again. Just playing with the sparkle. So anyway, so let's stop that, because as much as it's it's fun. Anyway, the point being, so then then there's then I'm like, well, since everybody thinks I'm crazy, let's like look into my fucking credit, because at this point, who gives a fuck if I have a bank account or not with multi-millions, if not billions of dollars in it, which it should be at this point. There definitely should have been an over from the time that I should have. But since I signed that witness protection form, that would mask my bank accounts, plus being allowed to talk to my own fucking people, which, seemingly is recorded phone conversations most of the time. And I'm like, oh, that's great to hear your voice. 10 seconds into the conversation, the weird noise in the background happens again on, like, it's like, well, maybe he'll forget that he had this conversation with this person or this, and it's like, no, I didn't. It's like, holy shit, it's like, and then, so that's fun. And then, let's see. And then, and all the other memories that come up into play, and it's like, yeah, because this is, oh, shit. Yeah, this. Stop. In the name of love. No, I'm just saying, it's like, it's like, yeah, because, this is the stuff that, even though I was proving when I was a kid, it's like, oh, he's crazy. It's like, yeah, well, and, hey, let's not forget when the house was shot at. Let's not forget that when the house was shot at, there was the woman. Obviously the house was shot on that side of the house over there. But then, like the woman, asked come in and take pictures of the inside of the closet, which is more like in this direction. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, what's with the closet? And then, of course, like, I remembered, what was Annabelle, and I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, is Annabelle up there? And it's like, but doesn't look like it, but it might be, because it might be like a false roof. Or it might be another place, because I do remember that, and it looks like the same damn fucking, and I'm thinking to myself, this definitely, because I thought my mom was kind of a little bit, I'm like, Mom, don't you remember when they tried to kill me in the fucking house? She's like, no, but do you remember when fucking you were kidnapped when you were a kid? I was like, oh yeah. Now, but then I was like, no, Mom, I don't remember that. It's like, I got kidnapped. She's like, I was like, oh, it's wonderful. It's fucking wonderful. It's like, oh yeah, holy shit, this is the fucking house. Holy fucking crap. With my little 3-year-old cousin, that was wonderful. So it's almost like running into Pazuzu, after, the whole fucking times that I ran into Pazuzu, but, more like on Long Island. It was like, don't you remember me? It's like, no, I do not. Who are you? It's like, oh. It's like you, I was like, wow, it's like, that's crazy. It's like, wonderful, fun times, man, fun times. It's like, fun times. So anyway, so obviously we're all still looking for Kristin Smart. Wonder where she got. I just got the slightest fucking idea in my head, and I'm just like, wow, fucking really. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the other 2 times that I bumped into Pop Smoke, which was like, wow, that's the first time, and the second time would be at that fucking church, and then it's like, well, that church is also the location of this and that, and then it's like, wow, that's fun too. So much fun times. Hey, let's not forget Tentacion in the whole fucking storyline, or Tupac, or fucking, all that shit that goes back even further. But let's concentrate on just the immediate stuff that happened immediately in the past, 2 or 3 years, or 4. And so it's like, and then it's like I couldn't get my friend on the phone, but then I was like, it's like, that's fine. It's like, even though we talked a lot, because I couldn't get anybody else on the goddamn phone. So it's like, it's like, but then the minute I wake up to fucking some of the shit, I'm like, wow, and it's like, well, all of a sudden that gets severed, but then Triple X, Tentacion, he comes along, and it's like, then he dies, the next day. It's like, well, you did put your hands on me, bro. It's like, sorry. But then I tried to reach out and say, it's like, well, give me a call, because, this person's dead, and I don't want you to think that I'm being a dick about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I put my phone number, my address, because, you used to walk past here, everyone. I'm saying, but then, that whole fucking thing just, like, quickly simmered down and shut the fuck up, and never heard another thing, really, like a peep. Almost like Little Peep. Hey, remember Little Peep? Hey, remember that? So it's like, so, in the meantime, then of course, my boy Ray, who was obviously, now that I know, but, he was obviously working on the Tupac thing, and, let's not forget that he passed away, before I actually had a good fucking calm down session before getting, like, okay, you want to tell me what the fuck is going on? Because I'll tell you what's going on if you tell me what's going on from your side of fucking things. Because now whoever your enemies are now my enemies, because they sent enemies after me for no fucking reason other than the fact people got fucking scruffed up after trying to be my enemies. So now I'm pissed. Okay? Okay. Too twick. Too prick. Too stick. I mean, too whatever. Point being is, it's like, and then it's like, oh wow, it's like, did everybody ever notice that, like, Tupac's daddy kind of resembles Tentacion's daddy? Hey, and then let's not forget Alfredo Flores' grandma, fucking, and then, the Tupac's the cool thing, and, it's like Tupac's mama, and then it's like Alfredo Flores' grandma, but then it's also this person out here, because I know that for a fact because of the whole fucking plaque thing. But the point being is that, Eminem comes up with this fucking song right before I head down, and I'm saying, interesting, because that's the place that this whole thing goes down. And then it's like, for some reason, when I get thrown into the jail down in yonder trying to visit my mom, it's like, it's kind of funny how, like, a couple of those characters came from pretty much like that block where I bumped into, like, what was it, Big Pun or Fat Joe? Don't even know who. I guess the one that's still alive may or may not remember. I mean, I don't think he would remember, but I mean, he could remember. I don't know if he remembers. I don't think he remembers. If it was the one that's still alive. about bumping into him. I really highly doubt that he would. But the one that passed away, on the other hand, either way. The point being is that, that would lead later on to, like, eventually my cousin being raped and then one of them passing away. So that would be fun. That's a fun little, timeline of events. But then, it's like, and then let's not forget about the fucking possibility that the Tupac tapes are out there that fucking mention me specifically. And then, it's like, well, that seems to be covered up at this point, but the one person that does know is still alive, and I guess that's a good thing. I don't hate the culture, it's just, I'm just so sick of everybody's bullshit, which then everybody can sit there and say they're tired of me, and then nobody talks to me anyway. So one of the things that Rayvon told me before he passed away mysteriously, from getting hit by a car was, Anthony, why don't you try to contact Tentacion's parents and talk to them about what you experienced? And it's like, I did that, would have done that more so if possibly Ray did not pass away. And let's not forget that Mac all of a sudden dies on the same day that Tupac was shot, let's not forget that. And then, and then the Pop Smoke thing. Let's not forget about the Pop Smoke thing, because, the first detective on the scene was named Flores. And that's just a whole fucking cup of fucking noodles right there. And, and then of course there's, Paul Flores later on, with the Kristin Smart thing, which happened way before. But then, they can't find the body, even though the body was told where it was told to me, which then I told to them, which then for some reason takes 25 fucking years to find the body. But then when they go to find the body had been recently moved, and then of course there's the squirrel with the human foot bone on my front porch, and that's fun. And then I'm saying to myself, like, wow, that's all great and wonderful, and let's not forget about Alfredo. It's like, the softy pasta, the soft pasta. Yeah, the grandma, and it's being, possibly Tupac's deceased mama. It's now the deceased grandma of Alfredo, which is also the same one that gave the freaking plaque to fucking Eminem. I'm thinking, because that definitely was the same one that gave me the plaque that said they were Tupac's mama. So I don't know what the fuck Eminem's experience was, but as far as it goes, it's like, at this point, I know I've made fun of Eminem multiple times about penises, my penis, and he can't get my penis out of his brain, with the song, yak, 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 and the Yakkalade, and the Yak Pack, and the yak, yak, yakety, yak, 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 yak. And then it's like, fucking, let's not forget, so I started making fun of him about the whole little peep situation, because it's like, let's count the little peeps in his sleeps, why my penis probably hits him in the fucking head and keeps him awake. It's like, let's not forget about that. And then of course there's, so he